here in Mexico, we're very related to
Yes,
that.
we do.
I kind of see similarities between the two of them, but I have to ask, if you could bring someone from the afterlife to work with.
Well, we do every day, so
Yeah.
it's a hard. I can't answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, I grew up in LA, so the imagery is very important. I always grew up with it. I used to go down to Olvera Street in Los Angeles and look at all the skeletons
Yeah.
and imagery and things. So I was very much a part of it very early on and loving it.
And by the way, if you saw what I looked like early in the morning when I wake up, it's like bringing me from the afterlife.
Yeah, so there you go.
Showing up for work is like we have to bring him out of the afterlife.
I can't believe that. I won't take that.
When you see Beetlejuice and it's fine, and you see Michael in real life, you go, oh my God. But that's what happens normally with people in movies anyway.
When you're all driving carpool and banging your Pilates instructors to fill the empty voids in your life, we'll see who gets the last laugh.
Michael, I would like to start with you. You've been in some iconic film sets, but we all know Tim's mind is unlike any other mind you probably have worked with. To which kind of details did you pay attention in the two films, and what blew your mind, even though you're used to film sets?
Do it again was a little nerve-wracking, but in terms of, I think not mind-blowing maybe, but how the quality, given that we were moving really, really quickly, how much we had to do, and to make these things work is not easy. You know what I mean? It's not like we could sit and discuss scenes all day long and, well, we did storyboard, but, you know, and have big, long discussions about everything. You kind of said, here's what's going to happen. What do you think of it? We just moved at a pace that I prefer. And the quality, you know, it's just difficult to do. It's difficult to get high quality when you have a very limited amount of time. Somewhat. How many days was that, by the way?
Well, when we finished, I looked back and I realized I didn't think about it. I didn't really plan it, but we ended up shooting this about the same time as we did the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about the same amount of days, and it was more ambitious. I would say.
Oh, for sure, more ambitious.
So I was even impressed.
I don't think there's anything that can prepare you for what to expect on a set like this, especially because everything was handmade and you know, there's no special effects or anything like that. So never seen a set like it. And every day I was constantly blown away by the amazing work that everyone who worked on props and set design, and they absolutely killed it and did such a beautiful job that, I mean, every time you walked on set, it was like, what can I fit in my pocket to steal and take home and keep forever? It was so easy. Yeah. Down to like stamps in the afterlife. Everything was so special. Nothing could prepare you. Best experience.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know how to make a sports metaphor. It's like playing with the best basketball team in the world, you know, like where every single person is like an all-star, whether they're a props person, wardrobe, special effects, or you know, puppeteers, and to have Tim sort of orchestrating it all. So I was more than blown away. You know, I had expectations, of course. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do a Tim Burton movie. This should be incredible. This will be, but when I saw the level of detail, I just couldn't believe it. I just was like, oh, it totally exceeded those expectations.
And Monica, if a ghost is gonna haunt me, I want it to look like you. I want to be scared.
All I can say is that I saw the first Beetlejuice, of course, and I loved it. I think that this one maybe goes farther with visuals, and maybe is even more scary. And but okay, we all had an incredible experience because Tim has such a creativity and so inspiring for all of us, and to go in every day on these amazing sets and to wear those incredible costumes. Of course, this was really helpful to play our roles.
My mom grew up here, that old house on the hill.
Wait, the ghost house? Is your mom Lydia Dietz?
Unfortunately.
She's a legend.
The living, the dead, can they coexist?
Now's my chance.
And Tim, I think you have always been, and I've been seeing this all over the social network for the last days. Everyone is always thankful to you because you have given voice to misfits and people who feel like outcasts. And this question is for you, but I think it's for both of you. Do you feel like telling these stories has helped you to embrace what you thought was different or what you felt wouldn't help you fit in? And
Yeah, I'm from who I am, so and I'm not like this real proficient filmmaker or anything. So if I do something, it comes from very much from how I feel or how I felt. So that's really the only thing I could rely on. So I never thought about it, but these are the kind of characters I respond to, and I responded to, you know, and then so you get that kind of feeling, and then like Michael's character, what he created and stuff, it's like this sort of anarchic spirit that just is almost like a wish fulfillment in some ways.
Yeah.
Being able to do whatever you want and feel however you want. So it's a mixture of all those things together that for me are important.
And a lot of people, I think, in I guess artistic people, it's common to feel like they don't really fit in. Even if you're very, very popular, you think there's a little sneaky thing there you go. But I always had a tiny bit. It never really worried me, frankly. It never drove me crazy when I was a kid because, you know, it's not like I felt like a total outsider and I was alone in my room, but I didn't feel like most of my other friends. I always thought I was different, but not a good thing or a bad thing. I just accepted it.
Yeah.
You know, I just accepted it that that was kind of how I was, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but none of it cool. It helps kids.
Like, you know, for me, and I'm grateful to that because I feel, you know, because I you know, for me, communication is, especially early on in my life, was quite difficult. As Michael can attest, nobody knew what I was talking about. I mean, it got a little bit better, but not so much. And I felt like that being able to connect to anybody on any level is an amazing thing. So, you know,
but I think these movies also made a lot of kids, I'll say kids, but people, but you know, feel like, yeah, I'm not, you know, or I'm weird and I like it, you know.
I'm 38 and I feel that way.
Yeah.
Most aren't real. Only gullible people believe that kind of crap.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I need you to help me save my daughter. But how do I know that you're gonna keep your word?
I swear on my dead mother's soul. Yes. Bob, you and the boys stand guard.
When you portray characters like this that have everything, they are funny in a way and scary in some other ways. How much do you need to let go of your own self-consciousness, and how do you work on that as actors? Like, are there ever moments where you think, I'm gonna look very dumb doing this? Or how do you manage to actually look the way you do on screen?
For my character, looking dumb was the part. That was that was the point of the whole thing. So I was, if anything, Tim was just trying to turn the volume down on me a lot of times. Just going like, it's a little much. And I'm like, all right, great. So he would like ride me down.
There's definitely been a couple of times where I've been on a set and I'm doing something and I've thought, oh man, this is embarrassing. You know, there's like a group of, there's like 20, 50-year-old men watching back with like booms, sweating because it's hot outside and I'm having to do something ridiculous. It's a really strange environment, but I don't think you can really get embarrassed. And with something like this, because everything is so heightened and so big and so colorful and visual, you kind of could
and
go
so
big.
ensemble-y,
like,
too.
It fit, like nobody...
Like our dance sequence, like with like Catherine was hilarious. But she was like, I mean, she sort of led the charge on that. And I was like, we should come up with these kinds of dance moves. And so we came up with these ridiculous...
Watching stupid YouTube videos backstage.
Totally.
Like,
it was fun.
It was insane, but it was, yeah, well, who can be the silliest, or what's the silliest thing you could do right now? That was the whole point.
I read that the dancing scene from the first film was not, you were almost about to cut it out.
Yeah, but I mean, that almost happens on almost a lot of movies. I mean, I can look back and there's been talk about always cutting. And I think what happens is those things that people talk about cutting out are actually things, it goes back to what we were just talking about. It goes to things that are disturbing them, or it's kind of like, ooh, what's that? That doesn't seem right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those kind of things, which they often get targeted. It's like person. It's like a monster. It's like, ooh, that person looks weird. Oh, that's a monster, Frankenstein or creature. It's like all this stuff. People kind of they pick things that come out of left field.
But it wasn't you saying I don't like that's not fitting. It was other people reacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
How do I get rid of that song in my head? Please help.
No, don't ever.
Listen to some other bad song.
Yeah.
That'll get.
It's a good song though.
No, but
I would say that if it's the thing I think you're talking about in the very first one.
Yeah.
That if someone said, for me, that was not it, but that was the thing. I go, yeah, that sensibility is what I like. That sensibility, that I would say idea. That sensibility is what I like. You know, so I know I'm not alone. That's why it's fun to work with guys. Go, that shit I like. I like that.
Because we don't talk about it. We connect with it. You know what I mean? It's always a bit of a subconscious or thing where, you know, because the things we talk about, you know, if you heard us talking about it, we'd be, you know, either arrested or thrown in a insane asylum.
Spill your guts. Who wants to go first? All right, I will. See, I'm willing to do the work.
Swear the afterlife is so random.
Do that thing from my dream. Really more nightmare material.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears. There's nothing harder.
Beetlejuice!
What the f?